Since Lightfall has dropped, I've been slowly working my way through what I think some of the best builds in the game are, with things like Falcon's Hallberg, Starfire Protocol, or even Synthoceps. I've also dipped into some strand builds for each of the classes and had a ton of fun there, but now it's time to dip into some more builds for other subclasses, and today we're going to look at the Stasis Hunter paired with the Mask of Bacchus exotic helmet. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscription means a ton to me and helps out a lot. Now let's get into it. Before we get into the subclass, it's important to know how Mask of Bacchus works so you can better understand how to utilize this build. Mask of Bacchus replaces your stasis dodge with a shift that is a longer distance and gives you a 10% damage buff to arc weapons as well as against slowed or frozen targets. Now, in our subclass, we have the Silence and Squall for our super, then the Marksman dodge to reload our weapons when we utilize our shift dodge that Mask of Bacchus provides, the jump of your preference, and then Withering Blade, and lastly, Glacier grenades to finish it off. Our aspects are going to be Winter's Shroud, which slows targets near you when you dodge, and then Touch of Winter to enhance the functionality of our grenades to add crystals to glaciers. Our fragments are going to be the Whisper of Chains. While you are near frozen targets or a friendly stasis crystal, you take reduced damage from targets. Then we have Whisper of Fissures, increases the damage and size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. Third is the Whisper of Shards, shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of the benefit. Lastly, we have the Whisper of Refraction, which grants us class ability energy when you defeat a slowed or frozen target. This last one will be very important to the build. The reason is due to the way Mask of Bacchus works. Essentially, how we're going to play this build is we're going to utilize a stasis weapon of some sort in our kinetic slot, preferably something with chill clip or slowing capabilities like Ager's Scepter. Then in our energy and heavy slot, we want some arc weapons so we can take advantage of the 10% damage buff from Bacchus. The gameplay loop is going to kind of work like this. You dodge near an enemy, slowing them thanks to Winter's Shroud, while also giving us the damage buff from Bacchus, then taking out lots of enemies or hitting the higher level enemies with our arc heavies while we have our buff. Then once it runs out, to get our dodge back super fast, start slaying out ads with our melee and grenades as well as the stasis weapon in our kinetic slot. Since our Whisper of Refraction gives us additional class ability energy from defeating slowed or frozen targets. Now that we've gone over the subclass and weapons plus how you should play this build, now it's time to move on to stat recommendations and armor mods. For stats, go for mobility for getting our dodge back faster, then resilience for survivability, and lastly, discipline for grenade regen. These three stats will best help us in taking this build to the next level. Now for armor mods. On our helmet, we have a dynamo, an arc siphon, and then a harmonic siphon so that we can create the most amount of orbs, as well as get our super energy for dodging near enemies, which we want to do anyways since we have the Winter's Shroud for an aspect. The gauntlets will have an impact induction and then 2 grenade kickstarts so we can get a bunch of energy back when we use it, and then also reduce the grenade cooldown when we deal damage with our Withering Blade, which bounces off a lot of enemies. Our chest piece is going to have charged up and then some resistance mods to better aid us in our survivability while also allowing us to have up to 4 armor charges stored at once. Our boots are going to have 2 arc weapon surges and a innervation. Now, I know since we have 2 ways to utilize our armor charges, it doesn't seem too beneficial here, but with how we are playing this build, it kind of synergizes well. We will dodge, get kills with arc weapons and spawn orbs there, then once we pick those up, we will throw our nades after light shift expires, then create more orbs using stasis weapons, allowing us to then have more arc surges for the next time we use our dodge. Now finally on the cloak, we are going with a bomber, a time dilation, and a reaper. These will give us more grenade energy back from dodging, while extending our surges timer, and also spawning an orb after we use our dodge and get a kill. If you are unable to select some of these mods because they cost too much for your build, then that could be because you don't have something like the authorized mods grenades in the artifact. So be sure to pick those up and copy mine here if you want to use a lot of the similar ones. Surprisingly enough, I really enjoy this build. I never really got around to using Bacchus in PvE, and this build has surprised me a lot. It's a super solid build and honestly one of the better stasis builds we have in the game at the moment, so I recommend trying it out. If you enjoyed the video, again, a like and subscription means a ton to me and helps out a lot. you want to check out some more of my content, both my Twitch stream and my TikTok will be linked in the description below. I would love to see you in chat sometime. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.